What is up, my people? It is your boy, AMG here. And this is going to be the review of chapter 957 of One Piece. Wow. So, let's get it! Dude, there is so much information in this chapter alone. I literally sat here for 2 hours and just wrote I want to say 8 scripts. No, I think about 9 scripts of different videos I can do, but I don't want to overflow you guys, so I'm going to try to condense at least 4 of them in one video. But anyway, this is review for chapter 957 of One Piece. And it is 3 o'clock in the morning, so I feel like Drake, because Oda has got me up all night. Yeah. It's, man, it is wild. The fact that Oda literally had to drop this chapter and was like, I'm a man. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Anyway, let's get to the fucking content, shall we? So, there's so much information on here that I had to write down lists. So, the first one we're going to be talking about is Isho. We've seen Isho's beat up and he's talking to Sakazuki. And I've seen some of it in Twitter. And then I've seen some of it because I was watching Brago's live reaction. And people were asking, why would Isho beat up? Well, if you think about it, Isho and Green Bull went after the revolutionaries that were in freaking Pangea Castle, that were in Mary Joa. So, if you think about it, the bandages maybe because he was in a fight with the commanders of the Revolutionary Army in Salvo. That could be the reason why he has those bandages, if you really think about it. Because there's no other, they didn't see him after a Shishibukai, and that's the only thing that's going down right now at this moment that we know of. So, there could be the topic right there. That's why he has the bandages. Then we find out about the rocks, which is just so freaking huge. They put all this information in there. We find out that the rocks were compiled of just some of the members. Was Whitebeard, so confirmed, Big Mom, Kaido, who was said to be an apprentice, but they might not be true because we're going off of the Jamini's box translations, and sometimes translations don't get, accurate. So we're probably going to have to wait for the viz. So my video right now might be out of date, but I want to do this in advance and try to get it out before, a lot of people just flood the, YouTube gates. So anyway, Kaido was an apprentice, but he was on rocks. Big Mom, Whitebeard. Then we find out Shiki was also on there. And we even find out Captain John. You guys remember hearing about Captain John's treasure. The kind of armband that we've seen Ace have. And it was actually a map to his treasure that Ace gave Luffy. And then Luffy gave to Buggy to help him get out of Impel Down. Yo. So even this Grave of Pirate was on there too. So it's they really had a stacked team. And people talk about how freaking Roger had a stacked team. Just look at Rocks. Rocks had the stackedest team you ever heard of. He had a total of 1 Yonko, 2 Yonkos, 2 freaking Yonkos on his crew. Then really you could add Shiki to a Yonko list. Really, there's no how, bro? You could definitely add Shiki. No, he had 4 because he had Whitebeard. You can literally say he had 4 Yonkos. That is freaking wild to think about, that he had that many people stacked. And then he had Captain John and other people in reserve that we didn't even hear about. So we don't even know if Baking was really on his crew or not, because it wasn't confirmed this chapter. We don't even know. There was a theory about freaking Rayleigh's wife being on the crew too, but we don't know if that's true or not either, because they only confirmed pretty much 3 people that we thought. We never thought about Shiki or Captain John, but those 2 got on there too. So who knows who else was on his crew. But anyway, moving on from that topic, then we got Yonko bounties. Really? I don't know if I'm even going to talk about that here. That literally deserves a freaking video all to itself, just talking about the Yonko bounties. Like, it's just wild. And I messed up on my live reaction. I accidentally said trillions instead of billions. So they are in the billions with pretty much, we even got the King of the Pirates bounty, which is the highest one of them all. And Whitebeard had the highest bounty out of the Yonkos. So that's very, 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 very interesting. There's even more information we found out about that. We found out Shanks' bounty and everybody else's, but when we found out about Shanks' bounty, we also found out that Shanks has only been a emperor, a Yonko, a Goko for the last 6 years. So when he first met Luffy, he was not a Yonko. And just think about this. Shanks became a Yonko after he lost a fucking arm. After he lost an arm. Just think about how strong he would be if he still had that freaking arm, bro. That is so wild to me. That he is still that strong and he didn't have a freaking arm. Yo, just think if he had both of them. But then you figure out, yo, he was fighting in major battles. He found against Whitebeard and all this other stuff. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Then we hear about a thing called the God Valley Incident. It is where, get this, the Marines, Garp, Goldie Roger, and the Pirates crew, Goldie Roger and his pirate crew, and Celestial Dragons, their slaves, against freaking the Rock's pirates. 38 years ago. Just think about that. So 38 years ago, right now Roger would be 73. So that means he was 35 when this all went down. And we always thought about, like, why is the older generation so strong? But if you think about it, if they're going against, if, you know, Garp and freaking, you know, Rayleigh and freaking Goldie Roger to fight people like that, that's the reason why they were so powerful. Because they're going against Big Mom, Kaido, and all these people who were on this crew, even though they're not as powerful as they were now, but they had to be powerful. They had to be a strong crew because they had to have all these people go after them. And people were asking, was it just Garp and Goldie Roger, or was it their crews too? Well, as we see in the picture, we see a picture of Garp on the island after, you know, the fight, supposedly. And we see Marines behind them, and they look beaten up too. So what I'm guessing is, it was also the crews of both of them. So it was the Marines that Garp was, you know, in charge of. And then it was the Goldie Pirates as well. So if you guys think about it, we already found out that Hagi blooms in extreme life or death situations. Just think of how extreme it was to fight people like that all the time. And it was stated that Rocks was freaking Goldie Roger's true rival. Yo, that is wild. As someone that powerful that can command all these people, that's crazy. Like, it blows my freaking mind. And then there was just they said that after that battle that the Rocks perished. But if you think about it, that's not true because Whitebeard and everybody else are alive. So maybe the Rock's captain is not dead. But then we get another statement from Sengoku, who also says, even though Rock is no longer with us, no longer with us. So does that clearly state that he is dead, or does that state that they think he's dead and they're not entirely sure if he is or not? Right there. There's some, information that you guys can think about and come up with your own theories right there, because that's a very, very interesting topic to think about. Like, is he actually dead, or do the Marines just think he's dead? But anyway, moving on. Then we find out that the reason why Garp didn't become an admiral is because he would have to work directly under the world government and the celestial dragons, because he hated them. He hated the celestial dragons and the world government. But him being Marine, he's kind of doing that to a degree. It's just he's not getting direct orders from them. So he doesn't have to deal with them directly, which really the girls say are celestial dragons. So I guess you would be bothered by that as well. So that's interesting. But then again, I've never seen when it was Kizu Akiinu and Akainu, I say Akainu and Akiinu. Why? Anyway, but when I seen them and they were all Marines, we never see them interact with the girls, We only seen the Fleet Admiral interact with the girls, So who knows if they actually talked to him in the first place? Interesting. But then the last topic we are going to talk about, because I got so many, so I had to write them down. Freaking Sengoku, Akiinu says, we are not going to Wano because we do not have the resources. Well, the reason why I think he's saying this is because they just had that Shichibukai situation happen. So they're sending all their forces to take out the Shichibukai. Now, I don't think it would be that much to take out, Buggy and maybe it was to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to take out Boa Hancock, and it's not because Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock has a whole island of women who can use hockey. Really? They can all use hockey. Then she has her two sisters who are definitely users who can use hockey as well. Then Boa Hancock has King's hockey as well. It's bro, that's crazy. And I feel like even if they got attacked, Rayleigh would probably go help him. Because if you don't remember, Rayleigh was one of the people who helped rescue freaking Boa Hancock when she was a slave. So, more interesting information right there. I feel like they're so spread apart that they don't have the power to do it after they disband the Shichibukai. Then they're going after Draco Mihawk, and really they're gonna need hopefully to go after Draco. So you guys are spread way too thin, and if they spread any more, then pretty much they won't have a handle on any of the situations, and they would send just not enough groups to go fight. So basically they could just take them out and they would just obliterate the Marines, which would be a good idea. And there's some new kind of science technology, and we found out a thing called the Science Technology Force. That is a branch in the Marines apparently. So that's probably what Vegapunk is overseeing. Interesting right there. And there's some kind of machine or enhanced warriors or something called the SSG. It was the reason why they disbanded the Shichibukai, and probably what Fujitora went to go see freaking Vegapunk about, and was so oh well, we got this, we don't need them now. So, but it doesn't seem like they've been on a test run, so we don't really know how powerful they are in the first place. But that's interesting information as well. And then the last thing we have to talk about that I'm probably going to make a video about later on is Oden Kozuki. So, we found out that Oden Kozuki was one of Whitebeard's commanders. But I'm thinking that he was probably one of Whitebeard's first commanders. I think he was his first commander, and then Marco was probably the second one. And then when we find out that Oden Kozuki goes over to Roger's crew on his final voyage to find the One Piece. So, or do something about after he found the One Piece and he was trying to do something about the world because he didn't have enough time because he had an illness. So we find out about that as well. It's okay, so when he left, Marco was number 2, and they couldn't leave the number 1 spot open. So Marco probably got bumped up and went up to that, higher power, higher level. And then Oden Kozuki went with Roger in the crew because he was the only one they knew of at the moment that could read poneglyphs who could, write in the ancient language. And we know from earlier chapters, a long, long time ago when we first got to Wano, that the Kozuki clan were the only people who were trained and was handed down through their family that could write, read, and they can make the indestructible road poneglyphs. So it's like, yo, of course he would have it on the proof. Like when we see in Skypiea, there was a message written on one of the poneglyphs, and it was from Goldie Roger. Pretty sure Oden Kozuki probably wrote that, because there was nobody else you could think of at the moment. So that's interesting. That's so much. There's literally so much information, and I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm trying to condense this, and I have a couple of videos that I want to bring out. But these are my observations right now. So, guys, tell me what you think about this video. What you think about chapter 957. Were you hype? Are you hyped for next week? Because we ain't on break. But anyway, yo, like the video if you like the video. Comment down below, because I really want to talk to you guys about this video. And subscribe, because I'm probably going to have at least 5 videos come out during the week with just videos about this chapter, period. Anyway, remember, anime, manga, gaming is all that. And I'm out, people. Peace. Shush. Got me up all night, yeah.
For 30 minutes, don't touch that dial. Don't interrupt right now. Tell 'em I'ma fall back, cause another all that coming up right now.